Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole and it's by user OrdinarySky4404. Am I the a-hole for telling my girlfriend I want a break after she cussed me out because I left her at my family reunion? I, 27 male, have been dating Emma, 27 female, for a year and 3 months. I can tell you I love her, but I have recently told her I want a break because of how she spoke to me, yelling and cussing me out. She's saying couples fight, and that's all it was. I don't know if I really want to feel this way again. Now she's telling me I'm the a-hole for trying to walk away over a fight. I need advice because after 4 days, I'm wondering if I've ended things too fast. It all started a week ago today. I took my girlfriend to my family reunion, the first one since COVID, and everyone showed up. My big family was all together. My girlfriend would be meeting a lot of new people, but a few she's met already. Being at the reunion an hour, my girlfriend and I were talking to my cousin, 30 female, who knew my girlfriend from working together. So while those two were catching up, I saw an uncle I haven't seen in a while, so I went over and said hello. Talking with him for about 10 minutes, I kept turning around to see if my girlfriend was still with my cousin talking. My grandmother asked me to help carry 4 tables. I let my girlfriend know I was going to carry 4 tables inside and asked did she want to come. She said no, she's fine talking to my cousin. I helped carry the 4 tables, then came back over to her. I was away no more than 10 to 15 minutes. As we made eye contact, I could see that she looked annoyed. As I walked towards her, she started walking towards an open space away from everyone. As I walked up, she said, "Why the F are you leaving me alone?" I said, "I told you I was carrying tables and you were with my cousin. She's a familiar face." She said, "She saw another family member and walked away to talk with them, so I'm standing here looking like a dumbass because you left me alone." I've honestly never seen her so upset. She said, "If I had known you'd be leaving me alone, I would have stayed home." I said, "I'm sorry, I wasn't meaning for you to feel that way. I helped and came right back." She said, "Whatever," and walked back towards everyone. You could visibly see she was upset, and I asked her, "Please, not here, not in front of my family." She said, "Take me home then." I said, "Are you serious right now?" She started walking towards the car. Driving her home, I said I was gone 10 to 15 minutes. She said, "It doesn't matter how long you were gone. You left me alone looking like a dumbass." I felt so blindsided and in shock that things escalated this quickly. 30 minutes earlier, I was just carrying the tables in. At one point, she was just yelling and going off. Then she said, "You're acting like a dumbass, it's ridiculous." As she got out of the car, she said, "I'll call you when I'm ready to talk." I drove home in silence, confused about how we got here, and I'm wrong for leaving her and not thinking about how she'd feel. I do understand that, and I apologized. I thought she would be comfortable with my cousin, and I didn't think that she would walk away. My girlfriend spoke to me like I was trash, and I'm not okay with it. Later that night, I got a text from her best friend saying how I'm an a-hole for leaving her and what was the point of bringing her. She told me my girlfriend was upset and couldn't believe me. After 3 days of not hearing from her, I texted her a long message letting her know I loved her, but I don't ever want to be spoken like that by my partner. It's been 3 days and I haven't heard from you. I understand being wrong, but not hearing from you for 3 days is crazy. She called me, and when I answered, she told me I'm wrong for wanting to take a break because she's upset. She said, "You left me and you don't see a problem with that." And I told her, "It's how you spoke to me that's the issue. I didn't mean to have you feeling alone, but even after apologizing, you kept going." She said couples fight and she can't believe I want to end things. I do care about her and love her, but for the past 3 days, I've been thinking about how she spoke to me. Sitting in that feeling and not hearing from her didn't help. I sent texts and called her, but she didn't answer. I keep thinking about how she was just yelling and cussing me out. Am I the a-hole for wanting to break up? Please, whatever advice is needed. Sorry for the long post. No, OP, you're not the a-hole. You're someone that got blindsided, disrespected, and gaslit because you weren't okay with it. Your girlfriend didn't just express hurt, she attacked you. She cursed you, humiliated you in front of your family, and doubled down when you asked for peace. Then, she ghosted you for days and sent her friend to shame you. And now, she's calling your boundary, the way that you don't want to be spoken to, a problem. And no, you're allowed to say, I don't want to be spoken like that by someone who claims to love me. You're breaking up over this. That's not quitting, that's self-respect. And yeah, couples do fight, but insulting your partner is not the way to do it. Don't get stuck in that loop of was it a fight or a breakup? It doesn't matter. Your boundary was crossed, that's it. She showed you how she handles conflict, and now you get to decide if that's something you're willing to accept. Personally, I wouldn't stand for it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section, and now let's check out the community comments. Vickers says, not the a-hole. You didn't leave her alone more than a few minutes, and as far as you know, she was with someone she knew. What you did was completely unintentional, yet she focused on her immature feelings. You apologized for something I don't think you should even have apologized for, but that still wasn't good enough for her. She proceeded to cuss you out and make you take her home like a baby, then ghosted you for 3 days and had her flying monkeys call and berate you, and they don't even know the whole story. I wouldn't have asked for a break. I would have ended it right then, and I would tell her friends to shut the F up. My Dirty Alt 79 says, not the a-hole. She lost her absolute mind over 10 minutes. She knew what you were doing and that you'd be back, but she decided to throw a fit that lasted for 3 days before you reached out. At that point, I had to scroll back up to see how old you two are, and for a 27-year-old, that is effing ridiculous. Seriously, what the F? Prof Plum did it says, not the a-hole. Breaking up is definitely the right call. It was a few minutes, not like you dropped her at the door and vanished for hours. If she looked like a dumbass, it was because she chose to. She could have looked for you or someone else she'd already met, gone to the bathroom or outside and texted you asking you to meet her there. Or if she's at all extroverted, she could have asked if those setting up needed help. She had options, but she chose to stand around getting pissed for no reason, then made you leave your first family gathering in 5 years. The girl is no good. Mel the Keeper says, I would say not the a-hole. Going to a significant other's family function is you supporting the other person. She could have come looking for you or introduced herself to more of your family or waited and caught back up. The point of a reunion is for you to see your family, in my opinion. Her being there should be her supporting you. And Interrupting Chicken One says, not the a-hole, and you're right to be rethinking. She has finally shown you her true colors after 15 months. She's not even willing to reflect on her own behavior. If you stay together, she will do this again. This was not just a fight. This is her showing that she's not classy. She can't be alone with new people. She ripped you a new one when you didn't deserve it. Then she got a friend to pile on. I hate that. Friends and family members don't belong in the middle of a couple's fight. And then she gave you the silent treatment. Never acceptable in a relationship as far as I'm concerned. The final nail to me is that she overreacted and cussed you out in front of your family and then demanded you leave with her. If you had just started dating and she did this, would you think, yeah, I can live with this behavior for the rest of my life? Okay, well, the community agrees that OP is not the a-hole and everybody's raising all the red flags. Now, OP did not reply to any comments, so we don't have additional context, which means we move on straight to the update to see how the story ends. Hello everyone, I was not expecting so many people to comment and give advice. Thank you everyone. Honestly, I needed to hear some of these comments. A few of you said she's done this before in some way. I've never seen her that upset. It really threw me off. And for it to be the first time at my family reunion again, it threw me off. When she asked to leave immediately instead of us figuring out what was going on, I didn't think my family reunion was the place for us to have any type of back and forth. So, of course, I took her home. I'm not someone who yells at my partner. My parents only communicated through yelling and random outbursts. I don't communicate that way and don't want a relationship like my parents. I'm 6'2", 210 pounds. It doesn't look good for someone my size to be yelling at my partner. I don't ever want my partner to feel intimidated or unsafe from me yelling at her. Anyway, a day after I posted, I texted Emma asking if we could talk. A few of you said she could have social anxiety that I didn't know about. I have a really big family, so I wanted to see if maybe that was it. I asked her, did she have social anxiety? And she said no. I said, help me understand why you're so upset. She said, you don't understand how uncomfortable it is to just stand around not knowing anyone. And you should have stayed around longer before leaving me. You could have said, come with me while I move the tables. After she was done talking for about 5 minutes, I told her, I'm done with this relationship. You came up with all these different scenarios of things I should have done. But here's one you didn't think about. You didn't tell me that it made you uncomfortable being alone so I could be with you. I would have understood you only know 10 people out of 70 or 80 people, so I would have just walked you around meeting everyone. This was a moment I could have shown you that I care about your feelings and you could trust. My family is super inviting and all she had to do was give it all a chance. This has all shown me that this isn't a relationship I want to be a part of, and I don't want to be in a relationship where my partner is justifying cussing me out. She started backpedaling and saying a lot of other stuff, but I told her I had to go and good luck in life. I haven't spoken to her at all. I blocked her number and I blocked her friend's number. I want to find my partner. I want to be with someone who can talk to me and figure things out. I feel like that was an easy win for our relationship, but it went the way it did for some reason. Oh, and for those of you wondering, I didn't miss out on the reunion. Since it's been a while, our reunion was the entire weekend. My grandparents have a farmhouse that sits on a lot of acres, so a lot of us camped out the entire weekend. The first day was us setting up our tents. The second day, all the cousins, 20 to 40-year-old, had a kickball tournament, and the third day, we had a big fish fry. My family kept my mind busy those days she wasn't speaking to me, and it helped me so much. I can't wait to have a partner I can share memories like this weekend with. Thank you everyone who gave me advice. Well, OP, good for you. You chose clarity over chaos, respect over repair. That's strength. Now you keep going forward, eyes open and heart grounded. The right partner will meet you there. So in the meantime, OP, take care and thanks for sharing. And now let's move on to the next post that also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's by user Glass Stair Hallway. Am I the a-hole for not reimbursing my friend after telling her she can't come on our trip? I really need some perspective here because I have multiple people telling me I'm the a-hole. My partner, 30 male, and I, 29 female, are planning a trip with 2 of our couple's friends to a destination a 6-hour drive away. We booked a super nice Airbnb that was $2,000 per couple for a total of 4 nights. We all paid a non-refundable deposit back in January for $1,000 per couple. We verified with everyone that they were okay with not getting that money back no matter what. We all just paid the last $1,000 per couple as the trip is in a few days. For context, Anna, 29 female, and Kyler, 29 male, are pregnant with their first baby. Anna has multiple autoimmune diseases and other issues that have made her pregnancy extremely high risk. Also, Morgan, 27 female, and Danny, 29 male, have a 2-year-old son who they were planning on bringing on the trip. The situation: Morgan just texted Anna and I to tell us that her son came down with severe hand, foot, and mouth disease, but asked if it was okay for them to still come and bring their son on the trip. Morgan is a nurse and knows about Anna's condition, so I was surprised that she asked to bring her son in that condition. They were also unwilling to leave their son behind, so it was all of them or nothing. Anna and I chatted privately, and Anna did not feel comfortable because of her autoimmune issues and high-risk pregnancy. Because of this, we told Morgan that we were no longer comfortable with them coming. Morgan immediately came back asking us to Venmo her for the $2,000 they had already spent for the Airbnb. She was very demanding and accusatory, which rubbed me the wrong way. I told her I was comfortable sending them the $1,000 refundable part of the cost, but not the $1,000 non-refundable part because we had all agreed we wouldn't get that back. This would put my partner and I and Anna and Kyler out an extra $500 we weren't planning on for the trip, but I felt like that was fair since they weren't going but had agreed back in January that the $1,000 wasn't refundable and they were okay not getting that back. Morgan absolutely lost her crap and told us we were selfish and horrible friends. She accused us of being greedy and valuing money more than friendship. Well, that's what she's doing. She said since we were the ones telling them they couldn't go, that we should pay them back for everything they had spent. I'm torn. On one hand, I get their frustration. On the other hand, I feel like this is part of the risk you take when traveling with children. I also do not have kids though, so I don't have the full perspective. For context, if it matters, we all make about the same amount of money, but Morgan and Danny have been struggling financially due to poor financial decisions and excessive debt. So Reddit friends, am I the a-hole? Should I just pay the full thing back to them to preserve the friendship? OP, you're not the a-hole. Their child getting sick isn't their fault, but honoring the non-refundable agreement is still the deal they agreed to. You didn't ban them out of nowhere, you protected a high-risk pregnancy. That's reasonable. Morgan pushed anyway, knowing the risks. When told no, she demanded to shift the loss to everyone else. You're already offering to split the cost and that's generous enough. This isn't about blame, it's about boundaries. She didn't choose for her son to get sick, but she did agree to the terms. You're not being cold, you're being fair. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments. Stronglog5969 says, flip it on them. Tell Morgan that you and Anna can't come because you're uncomfortable with Morgan's sick kid coming. Then ask her to reimburse the $4,000. Wicked Valentina says, Morgan and Danny are struggling financially, but they sprang for a trip that costs $2,000 per couple? What the F? They are way cheaper vacations to go on, especially when you're bringing along a child. Not the a-hole though. They sound like very silly people with a history of poor decision making. If you preserve that friendship, it will come back around to bite you in the butt anyway. Counting down the moment they call you to beg you for a loan they won't pay back if they haven't already. Throwaway and some numbers says, science is the reason they cannot come. They have a sick and contagious family member. Even without anyone's autoimmune issues or any pregnancy, it would be 100% unreasonable for them to attend. Not the a-hole. And Gold Adhesiveness 80 says, not the a-hole. Even if Anna wasn't pregnant, who asks to bring their sick, contagious child on a group vacation? Like, what the F? I'm sorry, but losing money on non-refundable trips is just a part of parenting. I can't even count how much money I've lost on missed concerts, missed events, missed reservations as a parent. I'm disgusted that they want to drag their contagious child out in public. A-hole parenting. OP's edit to answer some frequently asked questions. The trip was Morgan and Danny's idea. They found the Airbnb and were comfortable with the cost because Danny had gotten a bonus at work. All 6 of us work and make good money, enough that $2,000 for a trip is not a big deal. The trip is to a beach house where we are planning on spending the whole trip. Anna was comfortable going because we weren't planning on doing things outside of the beach and house. The trip was originally adults only, but about a month ago, Morgan and Danny asked to bring their kids because they would miss him and didn't want to be away from him that long. We leave for the trip on Tuesday, and their son started showing symptoms yesterday, according to Morgan's text. The community agrees that OP is not the a-hole, so now let's move on to the update to see how the story ends. Thank you all so much for the feedback, ideas, and advice. We talked to Anna and Kyler and told them we would support whatever they decide since they were the ones the most uncomfortable with Morgan and Danny coming. They liked the idea of splitting the non-refundable deposit 3 ways, each paying $333. So Anna and Kyler and my partner and I will each pay $833 back to Morgan and Danny, but they are still out $333. Ultimately, though, I think this has shown us a lot about who Morgan and Danny are, and my partner and I plan on distancing ourselves from them as friends. Also, no more friend trips, and yes to trip insurance, which I didn't know existed, in the future. Thumbs up! Well, OP, you guys came to a solution that you all apparently think it's fair, so good for you, and also good for you for taking a distance from Morgan and Danny. They showed their true colors. Take care, OP, and thanks for sharing. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out, so here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later, and also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.